Hey, everybody, this is Peter Hafner, certified financial planner and certified financial fiduciary. Thank you for joining us again today for our series of videos on retirement income plan. And today, what I want to do is I want to set up the different things we're going to talk about and then get into a couple of them. We're going to look at the myth of living off the interest. We're going to talk about the fear of running out of money. We're going to have a discussion about how not to get stuck on a fixed income, and we're going to look at stock market volatility and crashes. And then also what we're going to look at is I want to show you and share with you the investment strategy we use with the people we work with that can shelter your retirement income from stock market volatility, crashes, recessions, and bear markets. So for today, what we're going to cover is the myth of living off the interest. And when it comes to the myth of living off the interest, I think what we got to do is we got to go all the way back to the 80s because things were different in the 80s, right? I graduated from high school in 1984, and my friend, he had a big boombox like this. So big boom boxes, they were pretty common back in the 80s. And as you look at these other images, is there anything you notice that they all have in common? Might not be so obvious, but what I like to say is everything was bigger in the 80s, not just the boom boxes, but ladies' hair for sure, right? Giant hair back in the 80s, giant shoulder pads back in the 80s. And if you ever saw a cell phone in the 80s, boy, they were really different. Not only were they really big, but you had to carry around your suitcase-sized battery to make it work, right? But you know what else was really big in the 80s? Yeah, you do. It was interest rates, right? And not just interest rates, but the 30-year U.S. government treasury bond was really, really high. And this was a guaranteed investment from the U.S. government. So it was essentially riskless, no risk. So in 1980, the 30-year treasury was paying over 11%. In 81, it was over 13%. In 82, it was over 12%. And you can see some of these other years here too. So think about it like this. If you could take your hard-earned retirement money, what if you had $1 million to invest when you were ready to retire? You could just put it into a guaranteed U.S. government bond and get a guaranteed 10% interest rate. And you know what that would give you in income? Over $100,000 a year in income. And if you add your Social Security to that, you're doing pretty good, right? But you know what the problem is with that today? Yeah, it's interest rates, right? Do you know where the 30-year treasury is today? It's a lot lower. It's about 4%. So today, if you've got that same $1 million and you invested in a 30-year treasury bond, that's going to give you about $40,000 a year in income. And even after you add your Social Security to that, you're just not doing anywhere near as good as you were doing back in the 80s, right? So this creates a problem. What do you do if you can't live off the interest? And even if you got $1 million put away, that's probably not enough for you to live off the interest, right? You're going to need several millions of dollars. So for 90 or 95% of us, we just don't have enough money to live off the interest. So if you can't live off the interest, you know what you're forced to do? You got to sell some of your principal, right? And all our lives, what have we been doing? We've been saving money for retirement, saving money, putting it away, trying to save up enough money so we can live off it the rest of our lives. And once the paycheck stops, once we retire, what do? We got to start selling off our investments. And this leads us to financial challenge number 2, fear of running out of money. And that's what we're going to cover in our next video. We're going to talk about the fear of running out of money and what you can do so that maybe you're not so worried about this concern. So if you're liking these videos, please like and subscribe. Feel free to share them with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you again on our next video.